Terry Francona's love of baseball and his nickname both originate from his father. John Patsy Francona played in the majors from 1959 to 1970 and was known by his childhood nickname, Tito.
It was my dad's name. I mean, it's kind of his nickname, but that's what he went by. And I was always Little Tito when I was kind of bumming around the clubhouses when I was a little kid. And I know my dad, he had a hard time understanding, why are they calling you that? But I think so highly of my dad that I think it's kind of an honor that people call me that, and I don't mind it one bit.
Having a dad in the big leagues gave him great exposure at an early age. I grew up in the baseball clubhouses and had carried that ethos of the clubhouse with him forever, which he still loves. That's where he's home. You
know, I was probably 9 years old when I was old enough to go in with him. So he'd give me $1, and this is from 2 o'clock in the afternoon till 11:30 when they left, and I had to make that dollar last. I knew every usher, I knew every gate guy in Milwaukee, Atlanta, St. Louis.
As he grew up, Terry dreamed of following in his dad's footsteps, all the way to the big leagues.
My dad played 15 years. I was like every other kid. I was going to do what my dad did. I didn't realize how difficult it actually is. Probably a good thing I didn't.
Well, it's interesting because Terry he downplays his ability as a player, which is, kind of ridiculous. He was the Golden Spikes winner in college, the best player in college in America. That's hard to do. And he was a great player.
He played on an Arizona Wildcat team that won the 1980 College World Series and was named the tournament's most outstanding player. Later that year, the Montreal Expos took him in the first round of the draft.
My name is Terry Francona, and I hopefully play for the Montreal Expos. I'd like to make this team, and I guess if I do my job and I hit well and I play the outfield well, they should find a spot for me somewhere.
By June of 1982, Tito was in his second big league season and hitting .321. But then his playing career got turned upside down on one play.
I went back on a fly ball in St. Louis and blew my knee out, and it was difficult.
I think the Expos maybe were looking into a player maybe they could play for him maybe 10 or 12 years. I was looking for somebody who could play in 1983.
I mean, I came back and a couple years later was actually doing okay again, but then I blew my other knee out. This is in the early 80s, and they were big surgeries. I spent my last 6, 7 years playing in running shoes. I couldn't dig in at the plate because I didn't think my knees would hold up. So I just tried to make myself valuable enough to make a team.
That's a fair ball, gloved nicely by Francona, and they execute the play.
He'd eventually play for 5 different teams over a 10-year career. And soon after he retired in 1990, he'd have an important decision to make.
When I got done playing, I didn't know what to do. So I went and took a real estate course. And about halfway through, one of my old roommates, Buddy Bell, called and offered me a job coaching. I took my books up to the teacher and I said, "Sir," "nobody's gonna buy a house from me." I said, "Give these to somebody. I'm going down to Sarasota." And it was the best thing I ever did.